The UFC officially announces the UFC Des Moines, Iowa Fight Night card main event is Corey Sandhagen versus Davison Figueiredo. That's May 3rd. The co-main event is Bo Nickel versus Rainier de Ritter. And also on the card, surprisingly, Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens is back in the UFC. Recently, he talked about how he wished when he was in the UFC that the UFC went to Iowa, but they didn't. And then quickly afterwards, the UFC announced that they were going to Iowa. And then Stephens talked about returning to the UFC, which seemed far-fetched, but he made it happen. He will be fighting Mason Jones, who also is returning to the UFC. He was cut a couple years back, won 4 in a row in Cage Warriors, and now he's back in the UFC taking on Jeremy Stephens, and this will be a lightweight contest. Stephens is the hardest hitting 145er, but this will be at 155. Stephens' last fight in the UFC was at 155. He took on Gamrot and lost in 2021 via Kimura. Then he fought a couple 3 times in the PFL, won 1 and lost 2. Then he took a couple boxing fights. He had a good fight with Jose Aldo that ended up being a draw, and then he lost a boxing match to Chris Avila. Then he started doing BKFC in 2023. He won in 2023 against Jimmy Rivera, won in 2024 against Bobby Taylor, won in 2025, just a couple months back, against Eddie Alvarez, which leads to his next fight in the UFC against Mason Jones, May 3. Jeremy Stephens is back. The hardest hitting 145er is back. Stephens' title run in 2025. If Jeremy wins, let's get Jean Silva versus Jeremy Stephens. Johnny Walker taking on Azamat Murzakanov May 17th. That's number 10 and 12 in the light heavyweight division. That card was supposed to be in Qatar, but apparently it's going to be moved to the world famous UFC Apex.
I'm Apexing at the Apex, bitch.
Rafael Fiziev meets up with Hunter Campbell of the UFC. He says, good news coming soon. He's going to be dropping down to 145. He wants a top 10 opponent right off the bat. Oban Elliott returning in May. MMA Guru says it's Brian Battle in May in Montreal at UFC 315. Battle's coming off a win over Randy Brown. Oban Elliott's coming off a win over Basil Hafez.
Jill, I want to say, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate, hearing the words you have to speak about me and my career.
People, and he was a gentleman. I think that is probably what I'll take with me most. When you have somebody like Jaylen, regardless of their record or regardless of their accomplishments, when you have somebody that lived that life and went down those roads, and like all the great artists, you have a death. This is a death of a career. But when you have that, it's important from our standpoint to pay homage. Thank you for the memories to Jaylen Turner.
It was a tough decision, but, I think you hit a nail on the head. I want to say thank you, man. I wanted to thank you. I didn't even know that you even noticed me in the PI that day. I was just training, moving, having fun. Thank you for the compliments.
Every now and then you have a guy that can move with a grace and with an elegance. That's what Turner was doing.
We'll see what happens next. We'll see what doors open up. And I just got to take care of myself, take care of my mindset, take care of my family. And, I can't risk going in there and not being mentally there, being 100%. It's not smart. I could, but it's not worth the risk. So, again, Chad, I just want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you even mentioning me and just recognizing my career and my decision and my retirement. I truly do appreciate you. So much love, man. God bless.
First round of the women's flyweight tournament in the PFL on April 11th. Fights include Tyler Santos versus Juliana Velasquez and Liz Carmouche versus Alara Joanny.
What you been up to? We missed you.
I've been in Miami, big booty Latinas. That's what I've been up to, That's what we signed up for, and we love it. At least I do, and I missed it dearly. My shoulder came out. I can destroy my rotator cuff and labrum a bit. Even my bicep was heavy surgery. I was a bit on my own in a sense. I had coaches, but as team, I really didn't have. I didn't have a team. I had coaches, but I didn't have a team. And you need sparring partners. You need people that care for you. You need people that you can trust. I'm like, all right. The PI and everything. Obviously, PI was great, but that is not enough at the end of the day. It's just a structure. So.
Sir, last time around it was 3 rounds. Now we got 5. What can we expect? What are these keys to victory for Marvin to get his hand raised?
Oh, yeah. Listen, I think I'm a guy that grows through a round, so it's a lot of times fourth and fifth I find a second win. So it's I like 5 rounds. You know, it's a bit heavy, but it's good. I love it. Like, you know, I always find it in myself, and I know I can push like more than others.
Roman every time says that he's pretty sure that he won that fight.
Yeah.
So what can you respond to?
He just needs to learn how to count, I guess. Just go back and look at the significant strikes, you know? It's where, what? Like it was one action every round. Maybe it was that. Will that give you a round? Like, you know, it's okay, you know. We'll settle it again Saturday. So.
You mentioned you thought Marvin was going to be on his wheels a lot, running around. Do you think that's what you envision this fight is, that he's going to be running a lot and you're going to have to hunt him down from the cage and cut him off?
Last time it worked good for him. Maybe that's the only reason why he could run around me, point me, touch me. I didn't felt nothing. His low kicks, what people say that low kicks changed everything. I didn't felt nothing from that low kicks. But some people and judges saw that gave him the win. If he will decide to do the same, it also will be smart move because it's now 5 rounds and he will manage better his energy maybe. But I'm ready to expect anything from him. If he will go forward, it will be more interesting fight. If not, I will hunt him. But this time I will go hunt.
Something, dude. Last week they took us out of the podcast. Shout out to Joaquin Buckley. Asking for payment to be on the pod. You leave that shit in. I don't give a
Okay, we're keeping it in this week, Michael.
You big-eared goof. Motherfucker, I only do podcasts if I get paid. All right. Get likable once, and now listen, I have never wished for somebody to get knocked out, and now I'm wishing for it.
Ain't I just fucked a white bitch from French last. You fat, you ugly, and you stink, monkey. Shut up with your ugly ass. What you think you doing in my country? Yo, ugly, fat, stinking, ugly, and you need to kill your...
I'm Andre Petrosky, undefeated UFC fighter, and before my grueling workouts, I drink Tatsu tea. It's made with matcha, used by the samurais before battle for energy, focus, and hydration. It's a sustainable source of energy and slow-acting caffeine. Look, I'm not an expert on nutrition, but I know how to put a mother to sleep.
He's out! Wow!
Being a UFC fighter, I have some of the best experts and nutritionists in the world, and they approve of this drink. Buy Tatsu tea.